Good afternoon, YouTube. It's your man, always George Page, coming to you live on YouTube. As you know, my channel is it's a small channel, and I like to support a lot of people, and especially I'm a big fan of female bodybuilding, but I'm also a fan of WMMA, women's mixed martial arts. Um, I really got into mixed martial arts, around the time when boxing kind of waning off, like guys like Tyson and Holyfield and the Roy Joneses and all the other fighters started kind of fade out, and the new and upcoming guys just didn't have the same, I don't know, that oomph. But anyway, I'm a big supporter of women in mixed martial arts, as the last couple of years or so. I mean, thanks to my brother's coach Sharon Harrison, WMA Addict, those guys really put me on to the what's going on with women in WMA. And also, my channel, I support female bodybuilding. So I'm also at the same time educating them a little something. But anyway, this is one LaNiesha She-Hulk Vinson. Now, I just kind of happened upon her while I was like doing my time watching WMA videos here on YouTube, and she's an amazing fighter. I mean, and the problem is she's still in the amateurs. Now, let me give you a little synopsis on Miss Vincent. She is from Columbia, South Carolina, which is a good, what too far from where I stay at. I'm in North Carolina, and where I stay is like it borders the county I live in is borders right there from South Carolina. Now she lives with her husband and her two daughters. She's also not just a mixed martial artist, but also she works as a corrections officer. And that's pretty good. You gotta, especially for a woman, you gotta work in prison. Depending, I think she might. I'm not sure if she works in the men's system or the women's system. Either way, it's a tough job, and you have to deal with some people who are just criminals. But she got into MMA right about. I think I started. Where I followed her, really, she started her first contest around about 2016. So I think she's been probably working at least about for the last 2 or 3 years before she got into it seriously, because you have to really train. And she was fighting for a good while as a bantamweight, but LaNiesha's 5'1", so she if that's pretty small for a bantamweight. But she has fought in such as a couple of weight classes, such as she fought as a fly, but she's better at as a straw. She's a natural. I think she's a natural strawweight in my opinion. Now Letitia has been fighting for on the amateur tournament for quite some time, but she also Letitia has fought overseas. She in 2018 she fought at the IMMA and international is an international mixed martial arts amateur association, which is unified, and also the WMMA associate unified championships. And when she was at a tournament, she fought 4 fights in 5 days, and she did I mean, the last fight she had, she won by TKO. Most of the fights she won by TKO or KO. I mean, she was just when you get a chance, if you follow this, just I'm gonna put a couple of her views in the description. Check them out. And I remember she saw, and then I saw she fought a fight where it was in I think in South Carolina, where she from, and she fought a lady by the name of Hillary Rose, and the fight was going pretty good. I think at one point, if she had, if had maybe a couple more rounds, she probably would have beat Rose. She was hitting her with some heavy. She has some heavy hands. This girl, I mean, she has some heavy hands, and I mean, she could have won that fight. I think right now her record is around about. I think she's 10-4, I believe, or 10-5 as an amateur. She also has a Muay Thai background, you know, and she only did she had a she's 10-5, and she has a one win as a Muay Thai fighter. But I think she made the switch because MMA is a lot more popular. Like my man, like I said, like I hear it quite often, MMA is more popular than kickboxing and Muay Thai. Now Muay Thai, excuse me, had my breakfast this morning. Muay Thai and kickboxing is very popular overseas, like in Europe, but now it's popular in America. And MMA is really growing. I mean, I know Scott Coker It's now got a, he has was able to make it that you can have MMA matches in France. But anyway, let's get back to um uh, LaNiesha. Now, she she's an amazing person. I mean, she just her last fight was around uh the, almost last year, 2019. It's been a year ago. It was November was the last fight, and she lost that fight. That was, but you know what? I would like to see her get pulled up to a real, pro level fight organization. If she has the time, I think, she might have. If she has enough time to fight as an amateur, she has time to fight as a pro. And I would suggest, maybe Invicta should recruit her. Or there's a couple of organizations that are not as big, but they're up and coming. You got um, King of the Cage, where our girl Lovett Patrick was a champion for a minute there. There's LFA. There's also Capata. Those are great organizations to get you start. And maybe if organizations like Invicta, UFC, also Bellator, see how she does. Maybe they'll snatch her up. It's also that new organization, XFC. They just had a fight about a few days ago where they had Daniel Taylor versus Jessica Aguilar. And I think that'd be a great fight to start off, especially if it's a new organization and you're just getting into pro levels. That's great. That's a great organization to start off with. And maybe if UFC sees you, and maybe you see, or somebody sees your first face, and basically, if you have a good record where you have most of your fights are by KO, they love that. They love heavy hitters, like especially someone like Jessica Andrade. Jessica Andrade is about the same size as same height as LaNiesha. I mean, and she got power too. But like I said, this is why I really want to speak out for her. I need, this is somebody needs attention to. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of her social media stuff in the description. And also, a couple of her videos. I think I'll put the video where she was fighting at where she did an interview where she talked about when she fought overseas and when she won that tournament. I mean, she was, and this one was amazing for her, being the first American and also first Black American to win at an international tournament like that. But like I said, check her out, follow her. If anything, if anybody from Columbia, South Carolina, reach out to her. Maybe tell her about this video, and I would like to do an interview with her if it's possible. Anyway, this is your man, All the Rage George Page. Don't subscribe. I'm out.